Welcome back to another episode of That's Business. Today, yours truly will be talking about working your connections during the holidays. So, here we are approaching the holiday season where we're with a lot of friends, family. If you're one that likes to get out there, going to events, going to holiday parties, oftentimes seeing people you don't normally see on a regular basis. So, what do we do in those awkward situations when you're stuck in a conversation with dear Aunt Sally that you haven't seen since last holiday season and don't really know what to say? We've all been there. I get it. And if you come from a large Italian family like I do, there's always new people or just to reconnect. But we have no problem with talking if you know us. So, I wanted to come on and talk about what does working your connections look like and how do you do that without being slimy? I wanted to tell a story first where Christmas, I got in a conversation with one of my cousin's husbands that I just don't normally interact with. Again, Christmas, we have about 20, 30 people. It's loud and it's hard to walk around the room and get a private conversation with anyone. So we're sitting on the couch watching football, doing whatever, and we get to bullshitting. I didn't realize this man has so many connections in Detroit for things I go to. We have been to many of the same events, and I've known him my whole life. That's what's crazy. And sometimes he comes late, sometimes keeps to himself, but just had the conversation, and I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked to learn this. So I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, well, how often am I in the room with other people that are even more interesting? And if you know me and you've listened to this podcast for a minute, you know I'm all about talking to people. I'm all about talk to the person next to you at the airport, talk to the person next to you at the bar, talk to whoever you want when they're open and accepting of it, of course. So when you're talking about things during the holidays, instead of the like, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm good. How are you? What are you up to? Oh, nothing, the weather. Instead of talking about the freaking weather, and if you're in the Midwest and you're getting nailed with snow, we know. We can look outside, okay? Let's talk about something a little more in depth that will give us a little more spice to the conversation. I tell everyone, go in with telling people what you're up to. So, a good example for me for my holidays, I'm going to a summit this week. And by the time the holidays roll around, that summit will be completed. So, I will say, oh, Ange, what have you been up to? Oh, I've been actually the last 2 months, I've been doing a lot of events. I actually just went to Grand Rapids, which is a bigger town here in Michigan, and I did X, Y, and Z event. Oh, no way. Tell me more about that. So that just opens the conversation and it feels a little weird to talk about yourself or what you're doing, but it's so much more invigorating of a conversation than about the weather or what's going on or just, yeah, I'm good. How are you? Nobody cares. We all hate the conversation. We hate the niceties. We hate the awkward small talk that has no substance to it. So why don't we talk in more detail? If you're looking for a job, it sucks to admit if you were laid off. I get it. I've been fired, as you know, and it sucks to have that conversation around the holidays. I was fired in September of 2019, and the holidays weren't too far away. So it takes a minute to kind of come to terms that you were let go or fired or whatever the situation may be. But tell people. Tell people that don't know. Yes, you'll get the, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, this is bad, blah, blah, blah. What are you going to do? But when you can accept it and you can navigate the holidays around it, this is where connections can happen. So if your family likes you, mine likes me, they would be all about, oh my gosh, how can I help you? Where are you looking? I have plenty of cousins and family members that send me clients all the time. So we have to think about who you're in the room with. And you may not know your cousin you haven't really talked to in a few years, maybe doing something badass that can help you in some way, shape, or form. You just don't know who you're in the room with or what they do outside of being your family members, right? And you don't have to go after this as if you need something. This is where we're talking about building connections. Let's say you're perfectly happy at your job and you don't need anything and you're good and everything's good in the hood. I love that journey for you. But why not schedule some coffee dates, some drinks, some whatever with those cousins you only see once a year, or friends you only connect with over the holidays because everyone's home. Why not make that more of a regular thing? The last few weeks, I decided to say yes. I say yes to anyone that's reached out that says, hey, I miss you. Let's get together. Hey, when can we do this? Hey, I'm thinking of you. And you know me, I'm an extroverted extrovert. So I get energy from hanging out with people. And I know that's not true for everyone. However, if you say yes and check your energy, whether it's at a meeting a week, 3 meetings a week, whatever, could be phone calls, could be coffee dates. I do these things virtually and in person. They work. But when you can have an off script conversation with someone that you're just looking to mutually connect or mutually kind of see what's going on in each other's lives, that's what happens. Connection happens. And when you do need something, or if you were to get laid off, or you were to start your own business, or X, Y, and Z, whatever you need, those people are more likely to come out of the woodwork and help you out as needed. So that's why we want to plant the seeds now. It shouldn't just be around the holidays when you're stuck in a room and you have to have the conversation. But I do want you to think about that. For some people, this season is so busy with year end, and I get that. This is not a one size fits all situation because so many people have different work situations, life situations. But if you tend to be a little slower around the holidays or have more free time, like I do, this is where you should take the time, schedule those dates, and work with people around you. Last January, I was at a birthday party close around the holidays, and I made, again, making my mission to tell people what I do. It landed me a speaking engagement that I got paid for, which was nice. Because you just don't know who you're in the same room with. Yes, it was a birthday party, and no, I wasn't going in there for like who can make me money and who can build me connections. No. I'm this way with my partner, with my friends, my family, my clients. It does not matter. My podcast guests for that reason. But when people can make those introductions for you, that's what's so lovely. So I challenge you. Why not schedule those coffee dates or reach out to the friend? You're like, oh my gosh, I need to text them. Oh my gosh, I need to text them. If you're listening to this, do it right now. You can pause it. Send a text. Do it. And if you're thinking of, I don't really have anyone, I don't know where to start, this is a little too much, I'm not really comfortable doing that, that's okay too. You can still do this on social media. I've made many friends off LinkedIn. I'm not saying slide in people's DMs and say, hey, I'd love to meet you and be creepy about it. But you could start commenting on people's videos, comment on LinkedIn posts. If you're a social media person, do it. If you're saying I'm not a social media person and you're not retiring anytime soon, you should get on it and do it. The end of the year is a great time to learn a new skill. It's a great time to start something. If you're like, I've been wanting to start a podcast, let's figure it out. Do it. Tinker around with it. If you want to do something, this is the great time to do it. And then that's also back to the point about the conversations. Then you could turn to the family members or friends during the holidays and they say, what have you been up to? And you could tell them about the new hobby or whatever you're working on. If you're not comfortable with social media, if you're a gamer, if you're on a headset, I mean, the people you talk to, those people help. I mean, you just don't know who you're around. And if you're off from work and you have time, and if you're playing video games more, you're reading more, you're doing whatever, partner's a gamer, he talks to people all the time, that would be a great way to connect with people. I personally am more of a reader, so I love the app Storygraph, and there's people I can friend on there. And this is not so much to be creepy and weird about it, but we're in the digital age now. It's not so much you meet people in the wild, and sometimes you do. I've done both, but I have so many friends I've met off LinkedIn, off other social media platforms. Actually going to get dinner with my very first friend I met off LinkedIn that helped me start this podcast tonight. So the point of all this is you need to capitalize on what's going on. Try not to sit in the corner. Try not to just talk to the same people you always talk to. If you don't like a cousin, fine, I'll give you a pass. But for those that you're like, oh, you're fine, I just like don't talk to you as much, have a freaking conversation. It really does help. And some of the best conversations I've had was helping with dishes, was helping set up, was getting to the party a little early. I was on time, everyone else was late, but that's not the point. And it's just having these conversations. This is the time where everyone's going to be crazy. I mean, I live by Somerset Mall here in Troy, and lines out the doors. I'm not talking about those situations when we just had Black Friday. I'm talking about when the time permits, when you have an opportunity to sit down, take a deep breath, and relax. These are the people you want to have these connections with. And instead of like, oh yeah, we should get together. Oh yeah, just let me know. No, pull out your phones, pick a freaking date, and write it down. Or type it in your phone, whatever you want to do. Because another year's going to go by. You're going to be at the same family party, the same Friendsgiving, same whatever. You could be having the same conversations that we really should hang out more and we really should do more. No. I just did this the other day. Had a dinner party with some friends. And one of the women that we were supposed to hang out a few months ago, and then things took a turn with my grandmother, as you all know, and we had never scheduled again. So she was at this dinner party. We're like, great, let's pick a date right freaking now. We did. We hung out. It was a grand old time. We shut down the place for brunch. It was a blast. That's what helps you do things. I have a new friend I just met at an event. We were at a table together, and she was like, I like your vibe. I was like, I like your vibe. We should be friends. So we exchanged numbers. Took 2 seconds, iPhone to iPhone. You just connect them, point them to each other, and they exchange contact info. She texted me. I texted her. We've hung out twice already. And this has been so cool. And I feel like she's a friend that's going to stay around for a while. So it was fun. And if you're really good at checking people's energy, or you know how to read a room, you know when people are vibing with you and when they're not. And likewise, if you're vibing with them or if you're not. It's so hard to make friends as an adult. It's so freaking difficult. But look at who's already in your network. Look at who you can already talk to. And it works. Exchange contact info if you don't feel comfortable with that. Follow each other on a platform. Exchange emails for all I care. I don't even care. But this is arguably one of the best times of the year to do this. So please, take the time, build connections, and get you to where you need to be. Please. And if you're not sure where to start, or if you're super introverted and this just feels so overwhelming, please reach out. I love helping my introverted friends. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'll go to events with you. You need help? I'll give you kind of a play-by-play. If you're, of course, in Michigan. But again, we're all trying to figure it out. Life's really tough right now for a lot of people. You could trauma bond, whatever you want. But think about what you want the end of 2026 to look like. Do you want to be in the same spot you were currently in December of 2025? Or do you want to be somewhere else? Do you want to look back on the last year and say, wow, I did what I wanted to do? And I'm not talking about goal setting because I think goals are a little tough with life happening, deaths happen, sickness happens, illness. I mean, life's just hard. And I'm not so much big on goal setting like everyone likes to do for New Year's resolutions, because why should the date on the calendar tell you what you should or shouldn't do? But think about what you want to do. You want to start a podcast? Go do it. But where do you want to reflect on a year from now? Let me know. And if you have any questions on any of the content or anything we've discussed today, please reach out. Give us a comment. And tune in again next week for another episode of That's Business.